third party live. Is that going to be like the new metric? You think?
Uh, yeah, I don't know because we were actually on mute there for the first like 30 seconds.
Listen,
So nobody heard what the hell he said.
listen. I just dropped all of the jewels you'll ever need to make your first million in NFTs and cryptocurrency. You didn't hear it. Only say it once.
Jesus Christ! Look, dude, I'm trying to work out like a new system here and confusing myself a little bit in terms of how I'm doing it. But what did what's the old saying? Yet we persist, or yet we. What is the thing from Maya Angelou?
I think it's like was it in and is it and yet we persist or and still we persist? One
I
of
don't know.
those.
We're both getting it.
Yeah.
Like, Maya Angelou is shedding
He would be
a single
embarrassed.
tear right now from wherever heavens she might be resting in. Dude, what's going on? How you feeling? What's good? How's
Man,
life?
feeling good. Feeling
Yeah,
good. Life is swell.
life is
Not
swell.
not
Okay.
not often you get to use the word swell. Like it's
Yeah,
1950.
yeah. You should
Boy,
probably
she
not
sure
use
is
the word
swell.
swell. Is I guess the idea there.
Dude, but life is good. As you know, my LA Rams are on their way to the Super Bowl, which is not far because it's basically a home game for us.
They are.
Um, I've
I
been
mean, it's
watching.
basically it is a home game.
It is a home game. Yeah, yeah. It's I think Kanye actually moved in to our stadium now.
That I don't
He's
know if
at
those
the
I don't know if that brings good omens or not. He hasn't been winning as of
listen.
late.
Donda 2 is coming. I hope it's being recorded at SoFi. That's just gonna be fire. But
All right.
I've been watching some real good stuff lately. I
Yeah, what have you been
started
watching?
Yellow Jackets. Have you heard of that? Have
Yellow
you seen
Jacket?
it?
Is it called Yellow Jacket? I thought it was called like Yellowstone or Yellowback or
So there is a show called Yellowstone that's on like Paramount Plus.
yeah. Okay,
There's
so
another
Yellow Jackets
show.
is a different thing.
Yeah, it's on HBO. It's like a dystopian kind of.
It's all
Uh,
dystopian.
Everything's fucking dystopian now. Um, it's this really dope show on HBO about like this team of girls who's like on it's this like soccer team, right? And they're like
Women,
what
team of
women? Yeah,
women.
women, girls, boys. Listen. There's too much shit to keep track of. So it's this group of young women who are on their way to like a national soccer game, right? And then the plane goes down, they crash, and then they essentially have to survive, you know, days, weeks, months, whatever it may be, out in the woods. And it's telling the story about like what happened then, and like for those who survived, what happens now, and like there's a lot of gray area in between, and it's just like really, really interesting.
Mhm.
It's funny. It's well done. The music is great. Just having a really good time watching that. I'm also watching this show on National Geographic. It's like with Will Smith. It's like something. Damn, I forget what it's called, but it's like the special Will Smith did with the National Geographic Channel, where he like explores the different parts of the world that we live in, underwater, the air,
I think it's called One
storms.
Strange Rock. Right?
No, no, no. It's like something the world.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but it's Will Smith special on, and it's like a several part series, like a mini series on National Geographic, and it is like stellar. It's very, very well done. Um, yeah, whenever Will Smith decides to narrate something, it's just going to be good.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive it's One Strange Rock.
No,
Pretty positive.
I'm 100% sure it's not.
Look that up
Just
for
start
me.
like let me look up some Will Smith Nat Geo. But in the meantime, what are you watching?
Yeah, dude. So I've been going on this Star Trek sort of voyage. No pun intended there.
Hold up,
Um,
it's called Welcome to Earth. Continue.
yeah, is that? Then why are
That's
they
it.
lying to me about One Strange Rock here? Why is he
Um,
hosting a thing called One Strange Rock then? That's weird.
he probably got the double bag out of them, but the one I'm watching is called Welcome to Earth.
A real Welcome to Earth. Huh. Weird. Yeah. So yeah, I'm on this Star Trek kick. I started with the original series, which I was kind of looking to see what the best way was to watch it because it's very, very fucking long history. Star Trek has there's just so many different series, movies, yada yada. It's a whole thing, right? So I was actually looking for the best way to watch it. I started with the original series from back in the '60s. I think it's 1969. I think they started the series somewhere around there.
Ugh.
which I actually enjoyed, as weird as it might be. I actually, it's if you don't approach it with like a tremendous amount of seriousness, I feel like it's way more enjoyable than being really fucking serious about it. Because I feel like then you get a little bit disappointed because it's a lot of things that they put in there is just really silly.
You got to have like realistic expectations.
Yeah. And so anyways, I've been watching that. Currently in the middle of watching Succession. Sort of working my way through that. I did just watch recently, actually earlier today, Swan Song, the movie with Mahershala Ali. And I thought it was a great movie, man. I thought, I think what's going to happen with these sort of whether it's Apple TV or whatever, they just need to do way better, I think, promotion for their movies, because it's like the movie drops and then you don't hear anything about it, or even before the movie comes out, you don't really hear too much about it. But they have like really good movies and really good people, behind them. Like this movie had Mahershala Ali, had Aquafina, Glenn Close, and also they had Naomi Harris, who I thought she was fantastic in the movie. I thought she did such a great job with it, and it's such a shame that it didn't get a little bit more buzz than I think it did. I thought it was a really good movie. So I definitely highly
it's
recommend it.
unfortunate. Apple has not done a good job of like marketing really any of their content. I think the only show that I'd really seen them market in like since Apple Plus dropped was C, and that's really it.
Yeah, well, that's because you don't need that much to promote Jason Momoa. Just throw him on the screen several times, and I'm sure people will come running.
Apple does a lot of like push notifications. Like if you have an Apple device, they always like push those notifications to you. Like this.
Yeah, you can turn those off, dude. I turn them bitches off. I don't
exactly. If you turn them off, then it's like they're just dead in the water.
Yeah, I don't care to get those. Anyways, so in talking about shit we're watching, let's talk about some stuff that's actually going to come out this week, and potentially next. Not potentially, it's definitely going to come out next week. These things are on.
Like we don't know.
They're actually coming out. So this week coming out, we have Moonfall. Then we have Jackass Forever. Were you a big Jackass fan growing up?
Oh, dude, I used to love Jackass.
Really?
I do think that they're a little bit like, I'm glad this is the last run.
Is it the last run? Can we confirm this?
I was watching the Johnny Knoxville interview, and he was like, after, like, there's a scene in this most recent movie where he gets like hit by a bull head on, and that he had a brain injury from it. So he was like, that's his last like physical stunt like that, because he's like, once you have a brain injury, it's probably like, you should cut this shit out.
When the creditors come through, asking for their payment, when that mortgage is due, and you don't know where the next.
I'm sure he has enough money. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm sure Johnny Knoxville is.
Yeah, I'm sure. He's young, and I'm sure. Hopefully, they've at least at some point it's built in like royalties and shit with this Jackass shit, because I'm pretty sure they did it for like nothing. With like either the first iteration of the show or the conception of it. I'm sure they didn't get paid shit, but hopefully they were able to sort of as you might say secure the bag. Thereafter.
They do dumb stuff, but I do think Johnny Knoxville is smart enough to have like secured like royalties on the back end. Like, hey, we're gonna do this show for nothing, but if this continues to run, if this continues to get airplay, films, TV shows, specials, things like that, I want to make some back end money. So at least I hope they're okay.
Yeah, let's hope. So coming out the week after, though, next week, we have Death on the Nile, which is the much troubled movie that was supposed to come out. I think it was supposed to come out like a year ago. But then, of course, the COVID delays, obviously, but then also Armie Hammer. Look, I don't even know. We talked about that. I kind of remember what the fuck that was about, but I also don't remember. All I knew is he potentially is like a cannibal, but also he's doing some really fucked up sex shit.
I think it was like some consensual, non-consent shit that he's doing.
Yeah, and the information was like fuzzy in terms of like what he actually did do versus what was just like in headlines and shit. Like I think the actual facts were kind of not scarce, but just like I don't know. I forget exactly.
That story got suppressed really quickly. I don't know who his lawyers are or his PR people are, but
Yeah,
they
they were quick.
they did their jobs.
Yeah. So, anyways, that comes out next week. I don't know. I don't really care to see that. I'm not really. Although I am getting more interested in these sort of like whodunit things. Obviously, with Knives Out, I think we sort of got the reintroduction to this sort of whodunit scenario. I'm sure there were definitely some before that in more recent history to sort of bring that back up to light. But definitely, I think Knives Out sort of refocused, I think, the eyes, and then they're coming out with sequels for Knives Out. So I guess it's just a testament.
And if you do like the whodunit stuff, there is a show. You remember the girl Ilana? No, sorry, her real name is her real name is Ilana Glazer.
Glazer, yeah.
From Broad City.
Yeah.
She's in a new show on Apple TV actually called The After Party, and it's like one of those like whodunit type of murder mystery comedies. I think I'm on like episode 2 or 3. It's actually really, really good. It's like it takes the funny angle, which I'm sure a lot of those whodunit things do take a comedic angle, but like this one is really good. If you're looking for something to watch on Apple TV, that's a really good show. Again, they didn't really market it. I saw it I think I saw it on social media somewhere, but it was like really quick. Turned out to be really good. I don't know why they're not marketing their shit, but check it out. It's called The After Party on Apple TV.
Okay, yeah, I guess we'll have to check that out. So let's turn to headlines. So first, we have to mention, of course, the obligatory. It is Groundhog Day. The day is it today that they were supposed to bring the groundhog up, or if the groundhog shows, then we have 8 years of winter still, or how does that work again?
Yo, I don't think anybody fucking cares anymore. Like Groundhog.
When did they care?
I think they made a movie about it, and then everyone was like,
yeah, Bill Murray.
Cool.
Yeah,
but like,
have you ever seen it? Groundhog Day?
Nope. Don't give a fuck. I haven't seen a groundhog in 10 years, so I really don't give a fuck.
Do you actually recall the time you saw a groundhog? That's
not particularly, but
yeah, they're not particularly memorable like creatures. They're just. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen a groundhog. I don't know where they're at, but not around me.
Fair enough. Yeah. Anyways, so today's Groundhog Day, for whatever that's worth. And you know what? With what story we're going to talk about later with Evangeline Lilly, it feels like Groundhog Day because we keep having the same fucking conversations over and over, and it's getting really stupid. With this whole COVID business, it really does feel like we are living in an infinite loop of just the same shit day in and day out.
Yeah. You know what though? I love these COVID stories where it's like somebody says something fucking stupid, and it's like, how are you still this stupid with all the information that's out there?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a surprising
take
yourself
in the leg.
Yeah, yikes. Was this Cheddar Bob?
Plexico. I was thinking Plexico Bird.
Like, either or.
I'll say Cheddar
dealer's
Bob.
Choice. Yeah, yeah. I figured I'd be keeping in the movie stratosphere. But I have a surprising take on that later. Maybe surprising, maybe not surprising, but we'll see. Four arrested in connection. In other news, four arrested in connection with Michael K. Williams. He overdosed last year, and they apparently arrested 4 people who were in connection with him. As far as I think they sold him or somebody. I guess there. I don't know why it takes 4 people to sell somebody. Some coke, but okay.
They arrested the person who like cooked it, the person who bagged it, the person who transported
got
it.
the entire fucking got the entire connect there.
Supply chain.
Yeah. Now, so here's why I think this is kind of stupid. So they arrest everybody, but it's like, okay, he died from an overdose of heroin as a result of it being laced with fentanyl, right? Now, if we were an intelligent, I guess, what do you call us? Nation, states. I don't know what the fuck which one to go with here. But if we were intelligent, wouldn't the conventional idea be like, hey, if everybody's lacing this shit with fentanyl, and people are going to do drugs regardless, right? People are going to do heroin, people are going to do coke, people are going to do this shit regardless, right? It doesn't matter if it's outlawed or not, right? Wouldn't the intelligent thing be to be like, if people are going to do it anyways, perhaps we should legalize it and then regulate it so that we don't end up with fucking fentanyl in our heroin. Like, like
Yeah.
shouldn't like I feel like arresting. Oh, we got the drug dealers that sold it to him. Tight.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
People are always going to do drugs. People are always going to want, and if people want to buy it, the want creates the supply and demand, right?
yeah.
People want it. There's going to be somebody who's willing to supply it. So that's not going to go away. Arresting four people, and I understand why they arrested them. Like, well, you sold the drugs that led to someone's death. Um, I'm also I see the other side of that, where it's like, if I sell you something, I sell it to you, and like it is now your responsibility to like take it, um, cautiously, or with what is it called? Drink responsibly, use drugs responsibly, right? It's not once you buy it from me, it's not necessarily I can't tell you how to use the thing, right? But at the same time, selling drugs is illegal, so I get that. I don't know what the solution is, but the solution is not arresting four people. Maybe it's actually going after the pharmaceutical companies that are like manufacturing this shit. Like, how does this like drug that is highly, highly deadly, that's supposed to be highly, highly regulated, how is it so commonly being like distributed on the streets, right? So maybe we should go after the pharmaceutical companies and not just four people.
Well, I mean, okay, so like obviously the heroin and fentanyl and all that shit. It's not. That's not like the pharmaceutical companies aren't. Although I'm sure they would be glad to partake if if it were legal, but it's not like they participate in that shit, right? Although we could argue like whatever other fucking opiates you wanna talk about, whether it's was it oxy? I don't even know if these are fucking I don't know drugs, so I don't know if I'm saying all the right things, but I'm pretty sure that the pharmaceutical companies don't have anything to do with the fentanyl and shit. But
Well, they make it manufactured. How does it end up on the street?
I'm pretty sure they don't. Like, so I'm pretty sure fentanyl is I think that's something that's produced like that the non-legal drug makers make. But I guess the point is either way. So like if they even if they did and it then got onto the streets and people are lacing it in heroin and shit like that, I think the point is that people are going to do drugs regardless. So it's like the only way to protect people is to regulate it. That's it. That's the only way. If your actual goal is to protect people, then it's regulation. It's not because just arresting like what do you think? You're going to arrest these one set of drug dealers and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, whoa, we got them, guys, we fucking got them. We got them. We got them off the streets and nobody's doing drugs anymore. Nobody will ever die of a fucking overdose since we arrested these specific four people. Like I just don't I don't know. And they like we see these articles and it's like reading like it's like a dub for like society, and it's just like this is stupid. What the fuck? Yeah. Okay, you arrested four people. How many people overdose in any fucking year?
That just means four other people got promotions. Like cops got Mike, John, Jim, and Andrew. Like all right, now four other people.
Yeah, just got boosted up to to hit that corner, whatever corner they're leaving vacant now. So I don't know, man. Maybe it's me just watching The Wire. We're finishing up The Wire right now. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's maybe I don't get it. But yeah, I think it's fucking stupid. Anyways, let's move on. Also in headlines is Sony is buying Bungie for $3.6 billion. Now, for those who don't know, Bungie is the video game. I guess.
What games do they make again?
I know that obviously like the big one is Halo. That that sort of I guess put them on the map. I don't. We need to get JP on the line because JP knows way more about this shit than I do. But
I got a short list here. So they got plenty of Halo games. They've got Destiny. They've got Marathon. It's like a game series. I don't really know any of these games other than Halo.
Destiny, I know is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty popular. Okay. Yeah, I've been out the gaming ecosphere for a very, very long time. The only games I play are Madden and your occasional adventure game here or there. But like I still haven't finished somehow Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and I've had it for like a year, and I have yet to conclude it. That and Star Wars: The Fallen Order. I have that. It's been like a year. Still have yet to beat that. So I'm working my way through them. But
I need to get a game system. I don't have one, but I definitely love to like get back into gaming. I remember I bought the Xbox 360 and it got that red ring.
And Ring of Death is I think what we
I was just like, nah, fuck it. And that was literally the last I've ever had.
You just gave up quick. You're like,
I didn't even try to get my money back. I didn't try to return it. I was just like, nah. Go get some pussy.
Now, what's interesting about this is that, and I should have hit Jay up in order to ask him sort of what his thoughts are, because I'm sure he'd have thoughts on if Bungie is still producing good content or not. But what's going to be interesting here is to see sort of where Sony sort of takes it, because I know certain developers have certain, like, so for instance, they came out like a week or two ago actually that a developer was taking on sort of the Star Wars franchise and developing new games for that, and I hit up Jay up about it and he was like, yo, this is tight news, they make good shit. And so seeing sort of this purchase and Sony's an interesting company because it's like, I don't know what their focus is. They don't really have like one focus. I guess you could say it's maybe just electronics in general. But it seems like they just do a lot of shit and they kind of stay quiet and don't really make too many waves outside of, Spider-Man, of course. But it seems like they just kind of have their hands in everything. They're not like a master of anything, but they're definitely a jack of all. That came out weird, but you understand what the fuck I mean.
They're clearly jacking off. That is true. Like, I can't think of anything where like I go to Sony first as like this company's leading the industry in this, like, they're industry leading in like this particular product line, whether it's electronics, streaming, digital film, music, whatever it might be. But Sony is definitely involved in everything. They have, if you want to go buy a TV, you can buy a Sony TV. If you want to buy like a streaming device or whatever, if you want to buy something for your car, wearables, film, music, they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where they make their money. Like, they're not trying to be, and I'm not necessarily saying they probably are trying to be like the best in industry, but they're also like, we don't need to be best. We can be everywhere and still make fucking billions of dollars.
Yeah, for sure. And that developer that I was talking about that I hit Jay up about was Respawn. And I think that they have some content. I think that's related to like EA stuff. So he was saying that they do some good shit. So anyways, but we'll see how that goes. People just throwing around billions like it's nothing. I remember when we used to talk about billions, like it was like this, like just comically hilarious like number, right? Like if you talked about like $1 billion company, it was just like, yeah, what? Yeah. What is that even, right? And now it's just like, oh yeah, we just bought this company for like $3.5 billion or whatever the case. It's just like, what? What is that even?
Yeah, wasn't it like Blizzard Interactive the week prior or 2 weeks ago? Who did they sell to again?
I'm sorry, say that one more time. My dog is distracting me in the background.
Yeah, it was like Blizzard Interactive or Blizzard Activision. They sold. Somebody bought them. It was like 20 billion.
We'll have to get our correspondent JP on the line to tell us what the fuck is going on.
I'm pretty sure we talked about it. Like some company, I think Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, and I'm pretty sure the deal was like $21 billion or something like that.
That's stupid. That's just dumb. Like I don't even know what the fucking content of the deal are, but that just sounds stupid to me. But
yeah, who signs?
I don't know who signs.
Who has the final signature on a deal for $22 billion? I would be.
You better make sure like that's the signature you need.
I would be shaking like, are we really doing?
Do we run the numbers, guys? You need it right again. Just make sure this makes sense.
You just need my signature. Like, am I liable?
You try to get the temp to sign it. Like, temp, why don't you go ahead and put your
the interns in here to sign these documents?
All right. In other news, so Hulu strikes a deal with Fox to obtain out of season unscripted and animated series. So for those who don't know, Hulu is in the stratosphere of Spock's. I've watched too much Star Trek today. Of Fox because of the whole Disney. So Disney technically owns, I think, Fox because they just bought them out. more recently. So I think they just cut a deal in order to show unscripted, I guess, more unscripted out of season shows along with some animated stuff. So basically, we're just getting a lot of shit that I guess Hulu's going to be developing, or I guess receiving from Fox. And it's interesting, right? Because I personally don't really watch that much unscripted shit, but apparently a lot of people do. And it always amazes me whenever I come across stories like this of just like, who the fuck watches The Masked Singer? Like, I really want to do a case study on who sits down and turns on whatever their platform of choice is and turns on The Masked Singer.
It's like older people, like not necessarily like middle age, right? Because I guess like I'm 32, or I think so. I'm 32, something like that.
Yikes.
Dude, I forget my age all the time.
Yeah, that dementia is like dropping in already.
It's setting in.
Yeah.
But like I know my mom loves The Masked Singer, right? So it's like I feel like my mom's generation, our parents' generation, right? It's like they're not like she has Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Apple TV, like every fucking streaming service like that we have, like we gave her access to. She doesn't watch any of them. The only thing she does watch is she'll get onto Netflix sometimes, and she'll be like, "What is that? What is that FlixNet thing?" And I'm like, "Ma, what?"
Flix?
Like, you know what it's called. You
borderline offensive.
But she's like, "That's for young people." But like, she will get on there to watch like the Great British Baking Show. And I'm like, yo, they have so much great content, and that's the only thing you watch. And it's either that or like the news on live television, The Masked Singer, American Idol, So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah,
so I guess there is a market for it.
I don't mean to be like morbid, but yeah, dude, I don't think we're going to be free as like a nation until like the older generation. They got to go, dude, because it's like we're all controlled by the older generations, right? But the stuff that they consume is like so repetitive and so basic that once they're like locked into like one thing, it's impossible to like penetrate that, like unless it's in the form of like CSI or some shit, or like you got to do CSI like, you know, New Mexico or some shit, which I was joking about, but probably exist. Like you have to do something in the sphere in which they already know in order to pass any information along. Like how Facebook broke through, I'll never understand. Maybe it's because it came at a time when it's like easy enough to understand, but not like TikTok is like a fucking. It's like if you just open the app of TikTok, you're immediately lost. You don't know what the fuck's happening. There's just a lot of things
TikTok
going on.
Intimidates me.
Yeah.
Like I got on my girlfriend's TikTok once, and like as soon as you open up the app, motherfuckers are just like dancing in your.
There's just a lot of shit. There's a lot of moving shit going on in TikTok. So maybe that's intimidating, but I think Facebook is just like a little bit more chill, like where it's just like a 3-paragraph thing that you got to like read through, and then you know you don't mind wasting your life, so you just read it, and then you can. Some videos are on there sometimes, so you're just like, okay, well here's this little video here I can watch. Like it's like not intimidating. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was saying it's just enough content, and it doesn't molest you like TikTok.
Jesus. Yeah. Anyways, so I feel like the older generation is just like married to these like very rudimentary, simplistic things, and in talking, and I'm admitting here, the older generations probably read, I guess, on average, probably a lot more than later generations. But the entertainment, or even like the television content or the internet content, whatever you want to deem it as, that they consume, it's like very boxed in to where it is. And so it's just like, yo, we're not going to get anything done until they go
like
somewhere,
episode 1 of Successions, right? Where that the guy, he's trying to buy that media company who creates content, because he's like, yo, no one watches the news anymore.
Yeah. And they're all making fun of like the dad who's just like, yeah, like let's buy this fucking TV station, and they're like, what? No, who watches TV anymore?
No one. And it's funny that hit home, because like my stepfather, all he does, like he only watches the news, morning news, midday news, night news. And like whenever I ask him, like, oh, you should check out this show on Netflix or this show on Hulu or this show on Amazon, he insists that
Nope.
like I don't like to watch fake stuff, right? He's like he
Yeah,
literally says,
which is
I don't like
amazing.
fake
Yeah.
stuff. So he doesn't like Marvel movies because he's like that's fake. He doesn't like. I tried to get him to watch Godzilla versus King Kong. He's that's monkeys fighting lizards. That's fake. But he'll watch the news.
I mean,
like,
is it supposed to be like what's it?
He's just like, oh, it's fake. I don't want.
All right. Yeah.
Like, but he'll watch
okay.
the nightly news, right? And I'm like, this stuff probably does more damage to you than like watching the fantasy.
I think that there are actually like polls out that people are actually more people who consume more news content like that are actually, I think, and I'm probably talking out of my ass because I think I heard this in passing, so take this with a super fucking grain of salt. But like people, I think on average who watch like nightly news and all that shit like religiously are actually less informed than people who don't consume that. Like if you just didn't watch anything, you'd actually be more informed than the people who watch it religiously.
Yeah, I don't,
which is amazing.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah. But anyways, let's move on here. Oh, and speaking about the news, just to add in quickly, Jeff Zucker resigned from CNN. I know you're probably like, who the fuck is Jeff Zucker? So he's the guy who's been in charge for CNN of CNN for like last decade, some odd. I don't know, probably even more than that. But the main thing I wanted to get to here is that so he's the person who's sort of kind of the mastermind a little bit of turning CNN specifically into kind of like the ESPN of news. Where it's not so much about reporting news, it's more about just the graphics and car wrecks and just the back and forth fake debates, about who won, this person slams this person, and it's just like, it's all really fucking stupid. It's all really dumb. And this was kind of the mastermind of it all. And he resigned because he was in a consensual relationship with a colleague. Now, I cry foul. I suspect at some point in time, we're going to hear that there was something up with this relationship. It's not just that he was dating somebody or, had a relationship with somebody who he was in a consensual, because who resigns because they're in a consensual relationship?
Yeah.
You get found out and you just say, my bad, got me, if it's a consensual relationship.
In the statement, he said that like, oh, I failed to disclose my relationship when I was like asked about it in like years prior. And it's like, that seems too easy. It's like, you failed to disclose it. You're the president of CNN's news division.
Yeah, you're not going to resign because you didn't tell ladies.
Yeah, like
you're an HR person.
They're like, you didn't tell us you guys were fucking? Oh,
we're aghast.
You should have told us.
And especially like the fact that people probably like already knew about it. Like I'm pretty sure people within CNN probably fucking knew that, hey, these two are fucking, like I'm pretty positive they're fucking news agency. If they can't at least figure that out, then really what use are they, right? If you don't know two of your fucking boss is fucking that person over there. If you don't know that in your news agency, I don't know what to fucking tell you. You're kind of you're stupid.
There's got to be a lot more here. Like they would like fuck in the studio all the time or something like that,
or maybe it wasn't a consensual relationship and they're trying to say that it was a consensual relationship on the back end to be like, let's make sure nobody goes to jail here, they
probably force interns to have threesomes with them or something.
Probably.
Like there's got to be something else other than two adults having a consensual relationship.
Yeah, it seems preposterous. Yeah. But in moving on. In other preposterous news, we had the whole Brady retire, not retire fiasco. It was pretty stupid. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. All I know is that I hate Adam Schefter.
I knew you were going to say
I fucking hate Adam Schefter. He is the fucking worst. But Brady officially retires. Quick words. Yeah, he's the GOAT, I guess, at this point. The dude has like fucking 7 Super Bowls, been to what, 10? Yeah. There's not much to argue about there. When you win 7 Super Bowls, if really, and you're kind of the common denominator, then I really feel like it's hard to like argue with that. Great quarterback. Will I say he's the most talented quarterback? Absolutely not. I think that there are others who are more talented, but he's the most winningest quarterback. Absolutely is. So,
yeah.
Cheers, Brady. Enjoy the domestic life.
Fun fact: the last time that Brady was not on an active NFL roster, the St. Louis Rams, or no, yeah, it was St. Louis Rams at that time, won the Super Bowl.
Oh God, yeah,
he is not.
You try to turn this into a Rams.
No, it's true. Listen, it's true.
God.
Last time he wasn't on an active NFL roster, the Rams
unbearable.
won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now that he is no longer on an NFL roster and the Rams are in the Super Bowl yet again, I mean, history has a way of repeating itself.
I'm sure it doesn't.
Yeah, I think we locked this stuff. I think we locked it up.
Yeah. And speaking of this, Super Bowl set, Rams, Bengals. Not the Super Bowl I think anybody really predicted, but the Super Bowl we're definitely going to get. And I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a really good game. Anything can happen here. I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I said, I know, this team's definitely going to win. This team is definitely going to lose. No idea what the fuck's going to. Either team is capable of having a dominating game. Either team is capable of sneaking it up. All rules, I think, are out of the window here. I think Joe Burrow, he seems like, and please, forgive me for saying this. Please don't, people come after me for saying this. He seems a bit sort of like, I'm not even gonna say it, but he seems like he has a weird attitude. Like in terms of like the amount of fucks, the little amount of fucks he gives is alarming. In terms of he seems like he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go out there and play. And it's just like, dude, you're in the championship. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna go out there and play. Hey, are you open? Yeah. Okay, I'll throw it to you. And it's just like, what? Show anything that, like, are you a psychopath? You might be a psychopath. I don't know. Seems like
who he reminds me of.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow reminds me of Matt Ryan, but with a little bit more like youthful. Swag.
Definitely has way more swag than Matt Ryan could even dream
so
of
that's
having.
What I'm saying. So but like his demeanor, like Matty Ice is what they call it.
No, but you can at least see when Matt Ryan gets like frustrated or like. It just seems like nothing really rattles Burrow. He just seems like he's just like almost like he has like some sort of mental issue, like where it's just like, yo, bro, like, hey, are you with us here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like he's like all there.
No, the reason I say Matt Ryan is because again, Matt Ryan will win a game. He'll do an interview like, yeah, we played really good. We played well. We get better next week. And then he'll lose a game. He'll be like, yeah, we didn't play good. We're gonna.
But that's all quarterbacks, right? Like who? It's usually when they get off of that.
Emotional.
There are some who are emotional, but that's usually the default is like, yeah, we play good. Yeah, but there's some things to work on. That's like literally every quarterback, which is why whenever Rodgers
has zero emotion, which is why I said he's like Joe Burrow's like Matt Ryan. They call him Matty Ice for a reason, but he's just like younger and cooler. He has that swagger to him. Yeah. He has a lot of confidence. I love like watching his interviews. I love watching him play. I think it's going to be a good game. My prediction here is 30-17 Rams win.
Fair enough.
Aaron Donald gets 3 sacks. The rest of the guys do their job.
Yeah, I honestly don't know who to pick here. My thought is that the experience clearly goes with the Rams. They just have a lot of experienced players on that team. But the Bengals are just like it's like they're all not aware of like where they're at or like what's happening right now. It's just they're just like, yeah, whatever, we'll just go out and play.
Well.
Like, huh?
Exactly, which may serve them well, like not getting too overwhelmed by the big stage. Yeah. And just saying, hey, like this is a football game. We're gonna go out and we're gonna play. The only thing that's gonna trip them up, I think, and not just because I'm a Rams fan, the Bengals do notoriously have inconsistent or spotty offensive line.
I think again, like in the when we're talking about the Super Bowl, that could possibly play a factor. But I think at this point, I think tendencies and all that shit, I think all that goes out of the window. It's like 60 minutes, man on man. Let's see who the fuck wins this game. And I think both teams are in the position to have either a dominating game. Like I saw the Bengals come back on the fucking Rams or on the Chiefs down 18 points in like record fashion. Like it took them no time at all to say, all right, well, fuck it, let's just play out here. And so I think it doesn't. I don't think anything matters in this game. How good Jamar Chase has been, I don't think it's like he might come out and have a shitty game. Burrow might have a shitty. Matthew Stafford might come out and have a shitty game. He might have a great game. I don't know. I have no idea. But what I will say is, what I can say definitively above all for anything else is that the Washington's new name is dumb as shit. It sounds like an Arena Football League team. So I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl, but I do know Washington's new name, the Commanders, is fucking stupid. They spent a lot of time to think about that just to come out with something as dumb as that. It looks dumb, sounds dumb. Washington is cursed forever to be a dumb team. That's just facts.
I was really hoping they would go with the Washington Red Wolves. I just think there's like a really cool.
I think they just wanted to get away from the whole Native American thing. I think they just want to put that in the past, you know.
But like the Red Wolves have nothing to do with it, right? Because
I think somebody would find a way to to make that an offensive thing, and it very well might be an offensive thing. I think that they just want to use something that doesn't offend anybody on any level, except for it just sounds stupid. And so I think they've succeeded at that. I think
this is not a W. After all of the 2 years spent coming up with this name, I'm sure they hired a bunch of outside agencies.
Oh, somebody got paid. Somebody got paid tremendously to literally do nothing.
Like, commanders, and like real quick, and they're like, yeah, we like it, and they're like, okay, that's gonna be $6 million.
I do half up front and then half on the back end.
No, they probably got paid up front from Washington Redskins. Only them.
Oh man. Fucking ridiculous, dude. Look, when I want to jump to here, so I wanted to talk about something real quick. I spent like just a couple minutes talking about it. A story came out just recently, and I thought it was really fucking interesting. And I don't have the clip that is associated with this, but I don't know if we can rewind the clock. And we were having a conversation about the Britney Spears documentary, and Justin Timberlake got brought up, and it talked about how Justin Timberlake basically act like a dick. And you know, when the whole Britney Spears thing was happening, and how he's terrible. But what also got brought up or sort of resurfaced with that was how Justin sort of quote unquote treated Janet Jackson when the whole nip slip thing happened at the Super Bowl, right? And so the reason why I'm talking about it now is because I think they're coming out with a documentary, and everybody's always coming out with a fucking documentary these days. It just seems like it's the way of the world.
Janet Jackson documentary, right? Something like that.
Yeah, Janet Jackson documentary. I don't know if it's A&E. I can't remember exactly where it's from, but it's some sort of documentary. But anyways, I saw an article, and it talked about how Janet actually went out of her way to say she specifically told Justin not to say anything at that particular time. And how they've talked recently. She said that they're really good friends. Now, the reason why I brought that up is because, there were several Britney Spears documentaries, but I remember specifically in like one of them, they were talking about Justin. And they were basically trying to paint this picture that, hey, this isn't the first time he's been a dick to a woman. Look at how he treated Janet, alongside how they were saying that he treated Britney Spears. Well, I think the problem here isn't Justin, Janet, or anything that happened there. The problem here is fandom. And the reason why I say that is because, like, this whole thing with Britney Spears now, I think she's beefing with, like, her sister now, you know, but, like, that's a family thing, right? Like, I don't think that should be, like, the public then gangs up against fucking, like, her sister thing.
Her sister brought up Justin Timberlake in the interview, which is why I think his name got brought back into the whole situation. You know, Justin's sitting somewhere like, oh my God, please do not fucking say my name. Please.
No. And maybe she did. But I guess what I'm saying is, even apart from the Justin thing, I think having a beef with your because if I have a beef with my sibling, right, that's between me and my sibling. That's not between me, my sibling, and fucking 3 million other people. That's not, you know what I mean? Like that's not how that works. But I feel like sometimes the fandom interjects themselves into situations that is like, this is not your battle here. This is not a call to arms. Okay. This is a me and this other person's situation. But I think this whole, Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake thing, I think it's a perfect example, because I remember people burying Justin like, oh my God, I can't believe you'll just leave her out there and look how he treats this black woman and yada, yada. And it's just like, everybody chill the fuck out. You don't know what the fuck is actually happening behind the scenes. So before you jump out there, it's different if Janet comes out and is like, Justin's a piece of shit. I thought he was an asshole. He treated me like garbage and everybody should crucify him hereafter. That's a different story, because the person's actually like making that statement. But if the person doesn't actually say anything, which is why I thought this whole Britney Spears thing was weird, because it's like they were trying to like figure out if she was trying to say something, and she would wear something in like one of her Instagram, and they'd be like, oh my God, she's being held for ransom. And it's just like, well, how do you know that? I think you guys are just, you might be just interjecting yourselves into this situation where otherwise you wouldn't be required. But I don't know. The more and more I just think about it, man, is like, yo, I can never be admitted into a cult. like, because I would question literally everything, you know. And
Yeah.
as soon as everybody's like, let's all do this, I'd be like, you know what? Because all of you are doing it specifically, I think I'm good. Like, you know, and so I don't know, dude. Like, as I was like kind of reading that thing, it was just I just felt like this is dumb. Like, why would people, without knowing the scenario, just rush out there and be like, no, let's go to war for Janet and try to kill Justin? And it's just like, but you don't even know how Janet feels about Justin. Like, what? Like, what
You're
the
right,
fuck?
you're right. It is absolutely silly that like someone on the internet is just going to war
Super
over
him.
what Britney said or what Janet said or like hating on Justin. It's like, you know, if ever you say anything bad about Beyonce, like the beehive on the internet is going to come for you. Like they're going to hate you instantly, even if what you said was like justified, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with like Nicki Minaj's fan base.
Fucking
The
Barbs,
monsters,
is that what they call it?
Barbs, yeah, and then like I think Lady Gaga's fan base is called like the Little Monsters, and you know, fucking NBA YoungBoy fans. Yeah, like there's just like this swarm attack mentality. Like, yo, you said something about the person I like even if I don't fucking know you or any of the details about the situation, I'm gonna attack you online. It is kind of bullshit, but I'm not gonna lie. I am on board with this whole let's hate Justin Timberlake thing. It's just a fun reason to hate somebody, and I always like to hate one person a month to balance the universe. As Thanos
How does
would
that
say.
how does that balance the universe? Is it because you like so many people that you just it balances it
Yeah,
out?
you
that
know,
hate them?
sometimes you're too nice. You love people too much. You got to find that one person. Like,
I
fuck
somehow
you.
I don't think
You know,
that's part of your problem. I don't think that's
listen,
you just love somebody so hard that you have to hate somebody as a counterbalance.
yeah,
I don't
listen.
know. I'm not seeing that as
Here's
an
my
issue.
thing. Like, do 9 nice things a week.
Mhm.
You know, do one not so nice thing. You know, it's okay to say fuck you to one person a week. You got to.
All right,
You got to get
yeah.
that rage.
Well, you just saw that road rage thing where the dude just shot the other person on the end of you know.
Yeah,
So
I
careful
saw
who
that.
you
That was
say
on like
fuck you
95,
to.
right?
I think so.
Very
I don't
true.
know. I don't know where the fuck it was.
Very true. Always have your gun on you when you say fuck somebody.
Well,
Just in case.
it depends on who. As Han,
Don't shoot.
as we say about Han, it depends on who shoots first. You know.
True. I'm not advocating for violence here, but you get what I'm saying.
For sure. All right, look, let's jump into some trailer shit. Let's get into this trailer real quick. I'm actually really excited to see this. As a prior, not even prior. I've always been a Halo fan, but I definitely stopped playing it for a number of years. But I always loved the game. We have gotten a trailer for the first. Or for the Halo series. Now, this is, of course, about aliens who threaten human existence in an epic 26th century showdown TV series based on the video game Halo, and is directed by Stephen Kane, or I guess created, maybe by Stephen Kane, Kyle Killen, obviously multiple writers, and stars Pablo Schreiber, Natasha McCallan. Sure, we'll go with that. Yiran Ha and Jen Taylor, among others. This is due out March 24th of this year. With that being said, let's check out Halo.
So I'm not sure if you're closing on my screen, but you're closing on mine.
Oh no. Hold on. Let me.
Uh-oh.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. Shoot. All right, folks. Give 1 sec here for technical difficulties. We'll keep the mics open here. Let them as we work through this.
So like we were saying earlier, I didn't get a chance to watch this Halo trailer, but I was just looking at how many different Halo video games there have been since I last played, and there are like 55 different Halo storylines and journeys and games. I don't even know if I'm ready to like play Halo again, because the Halo I remember, I'm like, oh yeah, I could probably get back into that. I used to throw sticky grenades and shit blows up. Now it probably feels too fucking real. I'm a little bit nervous. because I'm looking at all these, the graphics are probably insane right now, like the speed of the game and responsiveness. It's been 10 years since I played a video game. I'm a bit nervous, but I do want to get a PS5. I know that they're fucking like scarce, and you may have to kill somebody to get a PS5, but I still want to get one. I actually have one of my coworkers, her son got a PS5, and the mall security had to like escort him to his car because they were like, it was literally that dangerous. So like when they bought him, like each person when they got their device or when they got their like system had to wait at the store for the mall security to come back and then escort them individually to their cars.
Well, let's see if this series maybe pumps that up a bit since we're getting some new Halo content. I don't know. That didn't make any sense. I'm just trying to get to the clip. Let's play the fucking clip.
Yeah.
You. Humanity's best weapon.
Master Chief.
Master Chief, huh?
The Master Chief was enhanced and trained for one purpose: to win this war. He and the other Spartans are our only effective weapons against the Covenant. He is lethal, upgradable, and most importantly, controllable.
Covenant forces appear to be excavating some kind of object. When I touched the object, I felt something. It felt different. What they did to us.
Holy shit, my man in here.
And you just decided to help me. Why would a Spartan do that?
What does one do with a superhuman you're not sure you can trust?
Hello, Master Chief. I'm Cortana.
Bill Collins?
Master Chief recovered something.
Sacred ring. Halo.
Humans. Surrender to the Covenant.
Cortana, I'm gonna need you now. Find the Halo. Win the war.
Nice.
There's
I thought that was
nothing
cool.
about that trailer I didn't like.
Mm.
Sorry, no, go ahead. You go first.
Oh, you said there wasn't a thing? I thought you said there was something you didn't like.
No, there's nothing about it that I didn't like. Visually, it looks stunning. It looks very consistent with like the Halo that I remember, down to Master Chief's suit, the Covenant, the weaponry. I like costume design. I like the setting. Cortana looks cool. And it looks like they're going to tell a really interesting story here about like we've got this guy that we genetically engineered and something happened. And then now he's like developing a consciousness of his own. Right. This looks good. I'm interested to see where it goes. Again, I do want to get back into like gaming. So like maybe this is like a great way to enjoy a show of a game that I recall and eventually get back into playing Halo.
Yeah. Look, man, I'll keep it brief. There was nothing I didn't like about it. It had Bokeem Woodbine in it. He's, everybody can remember him from a lot of different things. I think one of my favorite movies of him was
Dead Presidents.
No. What's the movie with Jada Pinkett? Come on. Jason's Lair.
Jason's Lair. Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, what I'm really interested to see if they have, or if they're going to include a lot of the locations from like the original Halo game. See if they're going to, incorporate that, which I would assume they'd have to, right? Like, come on, you missed opportunity if you don't. But anyways, everything looks dope. It could be really stupid. Probably is going to be really stupid if we're just going to be honest with ourselves about the history of video game adaptations into movies and shows. But maybe it might be dope. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I've got faith in this. What
We'll see.
network is this going to be on?
We'll see.
Network is this going to be on?
It's on Paramount Plus. So, yeah, I don't know. I have, unfortunately, Paramount Plus right now because I was trying to finish up Star Trek. We're gonna have to cut it from this. Right now, it's kind of cheap, right? But I'm sure it'll be like a month from now when they're like, yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, $13 is where we're adding onto. We're not even. That's not even the price. We're just adding $13 onto it.
In 4 years, Netflix is going to be $99.99 a month.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly headed there. Do you have time to do one more story? I think we might skip the next 2 trailers and do one more story. We'll keep it brief. Yeah. I know we only got like 2 minutes left. Let's do this quick story. Look, the only reason why I want to do this story is because every now and then you look, we think we're right about certain things, but then we don't necessarily get the evidence that we're right. But herein lies my evidence for why I've been saying on this podcast for years now. We're fucking this thing up with streaming by releasing everything all at once. And here, lo and behold, Variety comes out with this article that talks about how Netflix is basically fucking up because they're releasing everything all at once, right? So it basically talked about how after the initial debut of a show or series on Netflix or movie or whatever the case is, there is essentially like no replay value, that it has a pretty significant drop off like the month after, right? And that's because they release everything all at once. And they haven't adapted this sort of drop it in spurts. You know, I think Hulu does things by, you know, I guess depending on the show, but it seems like the common thing is doing it episode every week, like they did Handmaid's Tale. I think Amazon kind of does the same thing with the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, yada yada. You have all these shows that do this shit. And yeah, I just want to gloat. That's all. That's the only reason why I want to do this segment, is because I just want to gloat how right I am, how right I've always been about that. Releasing it all at once, you lose so much of being able to talk about, like, to dissect a show. I have not thought about Stranger Things outside of the last season. I forgot what happened last season. Don't really even care. It falls immediately out of your stratosphere after consuming it. Netflix came out with Squid Games. Super dope series. Immediately forgot about it. Yeah, let me know your quick thoughts before we get up out of here.
That is true. I do think Netflix, when they release content, they release it all at once, and you could like watch the whole season of whatever show within a span of a week, depending on how much time you have, right? And then you're right, up until they release the new season, you kind of don't think about it. But I do think what Netflix does well is they have so much content and they have a very good algorithm. So like, even if you run through a show in a week, like, you'll be able to find another show quickly on Netflix, and then now you got to go through that show, right? And then that's how they keep you.
So that's part of what their problem is they're burning through so much money that they're having to produce new content like religiously. Yeah. I think something like they're going to have to spend they're going to spend $19 billion on content. That's Look, I understand their business model, but also that's fucking insane. Like, I don't know what creditor is giving you that fucking line of credit, but Jesus Christ, at some point you might have to call that note at some point in time. 19 billion. Get the fuck
They're
out.
Getting that money from like the U.S. Treasury Department directly.
Yeah, definitely like, getting it from
that's our COVID relief fund. That's Netflix.
It's tied up.
Small businesses are struggling because Netflix is like, yeah, we need $19 billion for season 2 of Squid Game.
Yeah, there's no doubt, dude. Let's get the fuck up out of here. No, you gotta dip out, man. Look, man, we'll be back same time, same place next week. Until then, keep it kosher. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, do all that shit. And yeah, we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, we'll hit the very usual report call.
Fade out.
Peace the fuck out, ladies and gentlemen. Have yourselves a nice week. All right, we out. Peace. Deuces. No, they won't.